let's say that the frequency and the energy of the work has somehow, it's changed. Hi everybody who's watching on the live stream. So before we go into introducing the content of today, which I'm going to do in just a minute, we need to understand why we are here and why we're doing this. I know we're doing it all for our own personal reasons and to learn stuff, and you're going to tell me each why you're individually here. But now I'm going to give you like some metaphysical database and some reasons as to why we should, could be doing this kind of work. So as it says in the title, obviously it is advanced. So we're not talking about the 7 foundational energy fields, and we're not talking about the 7 main energy centers, although everything in this body of work and any other body of work that has to do with advanced energy fields and energy centers all correspond to the 7. Okay, it's just at finer, higher frequencies. All right, so I've written down a few notes and I want to share them with you, and it's all in your manual in more techno language, but I've broken it down a little bit for our introduction. Let's see. So, the greater aspect of us has been filtered away here in the 3-dimensional domain, but it remains ever present in infinity. So that which we really are is always present, but it's been kind of lost as we've come down into the physical. Okay. It is these bioplasmic aspects of us that store an enormous volume of data, and this data is relevant, it's useful, it's important, and some of it, of course, is harmful or erroneous. So a lot of the erroneous stuff as well, it's stored again at higher levels, at higher frequencies. Although people think that that isn't possible, it is. And you know, through my work, I've used this particular template a million times over. It's very, very useful to apply to be able to access some stuff that, you know, cannot be located or defined in the classic 7. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're all with me with that. So we're here today to disclose, to validate, and to alchemize or transform for our betterment from these other energy fields or energy centers. We are composed of matter, antimatter from dark matter, but our core consciousness resides in the antimatter. So that's like the void, basically, out there, okay? Our energy fields are made of this, or some people call it ether, or electromagnetic radiation, which is mainly magnetic, actually. And this radiational energy shifts between the worlds. So we're flitting in and out all of the time. And you guys are quite intuitive and quite advanced who are here, so you're already experiencing this. You know how it feels. The way that it's actually done, though, is through macro holes in the chakras that allow us to vibrate in and out of these realms. And it is the frequencies of those that determine the state of our consciousness. That bit's very important. So you're flashing in and out. Let's see. Your chakras are receiving and projecting, yeah? And this, wherever it is that you're receiving from, this is creating the state of your consciousness. So it's a pretty big thing. When you wrap your head around it, it's a big thing. Our energy fields connect to our bodies via the chakras, and they function as particle accelerators. So they make things go whoosh, in layman's terms, either for the good or for the bad. Let's see. They spin, they open and they close according to their source, their purpose or their function, and interface with our energy fields. So what that means is they are susceptible to closing down, to becoming stagnant, to not functioning, perhaps to drooping. Do you remember we did all this stuff in foundation as well, the nature of how something could look in the energy centers or energy fields. But again, the important part of this is according to their source, purpose or function. So that means where in fact are they sucking energy from? Where is it taking energy from, and where am I projecting it to? So these are the kind of things that we're going to be exploring so that we can really make some good adjustments today. And all this is in your manuals in more techno language, but I've kind of simplified it for our introduction. Now, you can ask me questions afterwards about that. So about today, what we're going to do today. Before we talk about even what we're going to do today, like all of the Fusion 7 healing work, I want you to know that you do it, whatever it is you want to do, in your own pace, and modify it the way that you need to do it. That's the first thing. So perhaps some of you might be concerned that it's a lot of data, that it's overwhelming. If that is the case, just listen, record, and then you do in your own time. Is that good? Are you all right with that? Because I want you to feel comfortable and not feel like you're being pushed, that you have to alchemize everything. We're going to do the ceremonies and the processes, but if you don't manage to do it, you just make a note of it. Oh, I need to do this one, and you do it in your own good time if required. Yeah? So I want you to be comfortable with what it is that we're doing. Now, okay, so that's that out of the way. Now, we're going to look a little bit at the content of today, right? So we have got 7 templates to work with, the 7 again. It could be a million, right? But we'll be lucky if we even get through, actually, all of this work today, because it's a lot. But here's the 7. The first one is to do with matrices and gateways. I don't even know if it's called matrices, but there's a lot of them. It's more than one, so I guess, right? So with the first template, matrix and gateways, you've got 5 matrix and gateways below the feet, rather matrices, and you've got 5 gateways above. And that's the ones that we're working with in that template. And this green stuff that you see down here corresponds to template 1. In template 1, there's a lot of references to sacred geometry, which is really nice, actually. So when we actually work it in ceremony together, you can look at the board and you can look at the geometric aspect of that particular gateway or matrix. And then when you see it with your visual cortex, it's easier to step into it to do the work if that's the way you want to work. Vaccine. We don't have geometric structures in any of the other processes, only the first one. This is what makes the first one different from the rest, but they are actually all quite different one from the other. So that's for template number 1. Template number 2 is very interesting. It is the 22 chakra biolocation template. So what that means is, the way this is separated is that you have got spiritual chakras, mental ones and emotional ones, but they are positioned at different locations in the back and the front of your body. So what you do is you connect to a specific body part and you work the correspondence between biolocation and chakra. It's actually really nice because it also helps us very much on the physical level as well. Yeah? So that's the second template, biolocations. The third template is again a 22 chakra system, and those have to do with everything above your 7th. So it's from 7 and they go up to 22. And these ones have a lot to do with frequencies and vibrations of light and colour. So that's the way that template works. Then we have template 4. Template 4 are the chakra locations of the planet Earth. And the way that we're going to work this one is the chakra within you from your fundamental 7 that you feel is the one that is, causing you the most aggro, so to speak, or is the culprit for a lot of situations currently in your life. That's the one you're going to connect to for planet Earth to work with. So you're helping you by helping Earth to help you. Okay? That's the way that one will work when we get to it. Template number 5 is, no, we get to look at energy fields twice. So this is the first time we look at energy fields. Template 5 is the human energy field, and this one is based in metaphysics. Okay, so there is actually data, scientific data that's been recorded, and that is where this particular data comes from. It's actually from that scientific database, but is based in metaphysics. Let's see. And this one runs from 8 to 12, although it is said that there is up to 19, but the data has not been published officially that tells us what is 12 to 19. But if we have time, we're going to investigate 12 to 19 to see what we get. Okay, what's going on? And of course, all of these can go on infinitely and forever, but we need to break them down into templates to get work done. Otherwise, we're going to stay in Lefkosia forever and a day working on it, right? All right. And so the next one, staying with energy fields, is to do with the electromagnetic field of the Earth. And then the 7th template is the Earth's auric field. There's a difference between electromagnetic field and auric field. Do you think any one of you guys might have an idea what that might be? Alex?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's the connection with the link of beings to certain level of souls, like a work of souls.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something that I feel that I have a connection with. Why am I picking up some things? I think there is a connection that may be with...
There are definitely connections to answer that question.
Yes.
And you are going to find out experientially what those connections are when we run through ceremonies, because it's split in a few parts. I'll tell you how it works as well in a minute. But was there something else you wanted to add to that? That was your question.
It's not clear how to phrase it, so the theme is about this, the connection
Okay.
of...
How beings come through in relation to chakras and energy fields.
Yes,
Couple said
of
see.
the earth. No.
Okay.
With also the connection after passing, if there's a connection to that.
Yeah, there is. But again, the reason why I'm not answering it is because you are going to discover that experientially when we actually do the work. Yeah, because I don't want to influence that answer. I want it to come through your own intuitory, what it is that you get. Let's see. Okay. Right. So we've described it. The difference, I don't think I actually said, between the Earth's electromagnetic field and auric field simply is that the electromagnetic field is more metaphysics and the auric field is more spiritual. That's the difference. So it has to do with the spirit of the earth. When we talk about auric field, electromagnetic is the data that we know about each of the fields. The way we know them for the body is the way that we know them for the earth. So it's more metaphysics, it's more clinical kind of thing. Yeah? So that's the difference. Now, how are we going to work? The way that we're going to work is, I'm not going to let you see the data of each of the templates, but I'm going to ask you, after connecting, to go straight into process to see which of the energy centres or fields you need to work on, and you work on them without knowing though, because we want to explore what the intuition gives us. After we've done that, then you can go back and read, oh, number 1 is this, number 2 is that, number 3 is the other. Then once that is complete, we go into ceremony together for each of the templates, where we do processes to alchemize each and every one. So do you see how we've got a shite load of work to do today? But fun. And like I said, if it's too much, Just record